So I had this conversation with this person, um, couple this group of people a couple of days ago, and I I don't know how it got to this point, but I brought up. I was like, is the world and human beings destined to be in a constant state of war? Is life in a constant state of war? Is that reality? Because if you look at it, we're always in war. We're literally in war right now. People are always at war with each other, whether it's psychological war, mental war, whatever. But I was like, if people, and this is gonna like kind of sound off bar for a little bit, but it's all gonna tie together at the end. So I had this thought. I was like, and I think I told you this the last pod. I was like, somebody that has the script can make it can seem like they know the future, but they're just dictating what happens because they have the script and they know how people react. And that's wisdom. Not necessarily knowing what's going to happen, but knowing how people are going to react to it. To a certain extent, you can tell the future that way, right? So I was thinking, right? I was like, the people who have the script are the most knowledgeable. And right now we're in a war. The war is an information war, you know, and the war is getting stronger because the ignorant are getting smarter slowly and slowly. And somebody said, and I was like, when I asked this question, I said, are we destined to be in a constant state of war? And somebody was like, yes, because the ignorant will always rise against always have the ability to rise against the smart. You know, the ignorant can rise up or whatever. And he used it. No, he didn't say that though. He said children can always rebel against their parents. And I take that as an analogy, the ignorant rising up against the knowledgeable. And I said, if you look at us today, when are humans today going to rise up against the knowledgeable and take out this structure of where the top 1.1% of people control everything? Like literally, it's probably less than 1,000 people that control billions, if we're being honest, right? And I was like, when are we the ignorant? And he kept felt offended at first until I explained it. I was like, are you? He said, are you calling us ignorant? I said, yes, because we don't know. We're fighting these people wars and we don't even realize it. And even if we say that we realize it, we're still doing it. So we just really dumb as fuck. So what I meant to ask you is like, do you think the world and human beings are destined to be in a constant state of war? Like, is there any escape in that? And if there is, like, how do you think it will be done?
I think we're always going to be in a constant state of war because, like you said, the ignorant. Matter of fact, no, not even like you said. We live in a time where the ignorant win. I mean, the ignorant people win. The people that are the most moral, I mean, the most off morally, just on a what's good is good, what's wrong is wrong. People that are wrong usually win. We can see that in like entertainment, in sports. You think about people who make content. A lot of the content that they make is terrible, not in a sense of production, but in a sense of just like this isn't something that your kids should watch. But they make the most money. They are winning in society. So there's always going to be that pull, that push and pull. I mean, not push and pull, that tug of war between should we be ignorant to thrive in this society or should we be righteous and be get stepped on? And with that being like what I mean by that, I mean how that relates to the question is like we're always going to be in war because there's always going to be this war of ignorance and this war of wisdom. And if we're being honest, the wisdom, people with wisdom are always gonna lose, especially in a physical sense. You think about people who, like, if I were to sit up here and be like, there's actually a Chinese philosopher. His name is Morza, right? And he preached that it should all be love. Yada, like we shouldn't like war is the stupidest thing ever. The people that followed him got wiped out. His information didn't even get rediscovered until the 19th, 20th century. So the wise could sit up here and preach about, yeah, we should have peace, we should do all these things. But these ignorant people that don't care about that have atomic weapons
Okay.
that ain't hearing no words at all.
And this is why, all right, are we on a hell planet then? If we are destined to be, if our lives are literally being controlled by the moronic people around us and we can't get around it, we can't get around it. If we are destined to live in a constant state of war and our reality is dictated based on other people and we can't even get around it, is this a hell planet? And I say that because, look, if you are fortunate enough to get woke, most people are born asleep and they die asleep. So they have no recollection if this was a hell planet or not. But if you are fortunate enough to get woke and you realize how backwards all this shit is in society, and then you realize you can't even get around it, you can find yourself in a constant state of hell. And then if you think about the universe, is this really the vibration that it's supposed to be on? Is this the only place on Earth, the only planet that's sustaining life, and this is how it's going? So, like, that's why I asked, are we on a hell planet then, living in a hell reality?
I think we are on a hell planet because you look at the wisest people, right? Let's just say the Buddha, right? The all knowing. I don't know if he's all knowing, but he even said life is suffering. And the only time you're really happy is when you're under a false pretense of what happiness really should be. The only time you're happy is when you buy something that you desire, some materialistic thing that really has no importance in the universe at all besides making you happy. And what that is and how the Christian God literally describes the devil is like a false pretense. It's like he's saying one thing to you, but that's not really real, or he's giving you something that is gonna make you happy for the moment, but is really bad for you. So what we're really doing is we're getting these satisfactory happy things. I mean these temporary happy things that are really our downfall. Like you think about it, right? If you eat an ice cream cone, right? That's only making your brain want more ice cream.
Temporary happiness.
Yeah, that's making your happy. That's making you happy, but that's making your brain addicted to that happiness that's eventually gonna kill you. It's the same thing with you buy a
Cocaine, drugs.
you buy one purse. Your brain is gonna want more purses, more clothes, which is eventually gonna leave you broke, which is gonna leave you dead or starving or whatever. It's gonna leave you unhappy. It's gonna leave you stressed. So I think we do live on a hell planet, but there is a way out. I do believe there is a way out.
So do you think this, and that's why I say, because like I said this in an earlier pod, I said, it's like the smarter you are, the harder it is to be happy. And it's like, what is true happiness? Do you have to know things to experience true happiness, or can a dog who knows nothing experience true happiness? Like, what is true happiness? Because if your happiness under a false pretense, is that true happiness or is that falsified happiness? Like, what's the difference? Right. And like, that's why I was thinking, like, and I kind of thought of this like as the Maze Runner, like have you seen the Maze Runner?
Amazing, nah.
Well, it's basically like the first movie, right? They're trying to get out of this maze the entire time, and they get out of it, and they think like, all right, that's over.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this actually.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Let's
like
do it.
they're actually not out of the maze, actually, right? And I'm thinking like, what if that's life? Like we're getting this, like we're on level one, and really to beat level one, you just gotta realize that this is not how you're supposed to be living, and then you just train up until you get to your next level. Because I'm like, like energy never ceases to exist. It keeps going on. So if you're at a low vibrational state your entire life and you die at that low vibrational state, you're going to reincarnate at that low vibrational state. But if you're training yourself and getting ready for what's to come, even if you're on this hell planet, your mind isn't. So you're not going to come back to this same place. You're going to come back somewhere else. Like, what's the next level? And I think that's really when you think about whether you want to just, say fuck it and just go along with the flow and be happy in life, or fight the grind and like be about what you're about, no matter like if you're the only motherfucker that's about it. It's like this is one level out of billions in the entire universe. You feel me? You can think of every planet as a different level or whatever. This is one out of a billion. And if you get castrated and caught up on wanting to stay fixated on this level, you don't even realize you're on a hell planet. You on the worst level you could be on. You feel me? You can't level up. There's like, and people are so caught up like trying to be famous. We're literally trying to get deeper into the hell planet. Cause once you famous, like you really not getting off this bitch. You're stuck for real. And it's like, that's how I think this is a hell planet because the goal is to get deeper in the bullshit, get deeper in the matrix and not break out. Like everybody always wants to be the center of attention rather than the person watching on the outside. When that person on the right side, outside is really the main the motherfucker, everybody's the most powerful one. Like the person, and I thought about this like with rappers and stuff, or just, no, I really thought about it with politicians. I was like, the president, the person you see is not the fucking person you should be worried about. It's the person behind the scenes. That's just a puppet. So if you think about it, all these people are trying to get deeper into the matrix to become those puppets and get stuck on this hell planet that's run by demons, literally. So I mean, I think in a way, you can't think of like you can't worry about what other people think. You have to be about what you believe in and like stand for something or fall for anything. Like, and you might have a terrible life because you just fighting so much bullshit, and everybody that's throwing the bullshit at you, they're just ignorant. They don't know, but just know energy never ceases to exist. If you die and you're at this high vibration, you're not going to reincarnate at a low one. You're going to experience shit that people can't even fathom on this planet because we're so caught up in this box of telling ourselves that we're these physical beings instead of what we actually are. But then again, I could just be a nigga talking. Like, who knows for real?